I'm Kevin Coleman with the Silent Post, and I am at the Pump House Center for the Arts, and we have a new show that is opening up tonight on July 5th, and you are the sort of the curator for it?
That's right.
Can you introduce yourself?
I'm Rusty Harden from the Dayton-area. And so just south of Dayton, actually it's one exit south of the downtown of Dayton, there's an area known as the Sunwatch. And Sunwatch is a Native American for an ancient period village that was excavated. It began in the 1968. Around that time, there had been farmers that when they plowed, they would come up with these artifacts. And so they contacted somebody eventually, and they came out. The city is now owned by the city and was owned by the city about that time. And so they allowed a team to come in and do an excavation. And one man in particular, I can't think of his name right now, but he did a lot of it. Well, the city gave him 6 months to do the excavation, and then they were going to build a water treatment center. Well, it was a treasure underground that nobody knew that was there. Turns out the village had been there, like I said, during the Fort Ancient period. They don't really know where the folks came from, and they don't know really why they're no longer there. But they've only excavated 1/4 of it. They have a discovery center where you can learn about what they found. But there's buildings that have been built on there, and they have the same footprint that they found in the excavation. So they may not really know what the homes or the lodge look like, but they know the sizes and like the fortification around the village also, because they're and there's towers or poles that line up with the solstice in the center, 30-foot poles.
You often called a wood henge.
Good. Well, I like that.
That's a nickname that's usually given to them.
Is it? I didn't know that. There's so much to learn. So those are things that we learned about the exhibit itself. So yeah, I curated myself along with 9 other artists, and we went out there on tours. We learned more than what I can remember to tell you. We had some lectures, and none of us are indigenous or Native Americans, but we honor the culture that was here before us, because without that culture, we wouldn't have our culture. So there's a lot of respect and honor here. So we were very careful about not appropriating. We wanted to have respect for the culture, the people, and the people today that are of that culture, however it is in the United States. So anyway, so I spoke with the CEO, Tracy Tommy, at the Boonshoft Museum. The Sunwatch is actually under the Boonshoft Natural History Museum.
And that's the museum for the county and the city there?
It's in the city, right. It's Boonshoft. Can't think of the whole name because I'm nervous doing the interview.
That's okay.
But it's under the Dayton Society of Natural History. That's what it is. So I spoke with Tracy, and we made connections, collected 9 other artists, and we all collectively created artwork that we were inspired by the Sunwatch. So we're very careful not to appropriate. I always want to emphasize the amount of honor and respect we brought to the project.
So you're involved here mainly as an artist, not as an interpreter of the site or a part of the site.
Yeah, that's not my place to be. But I'm an artist, and it's fair to be inspired by not only what we have by nature on the earth, but also by the people that have lived, and will live in the future. So this is our interpretation of that experience.
Okay. Were you invited to create a display here for the Pump House?
Actually, I met with Bev maybe a year and a half ago and talked to her about having this exhibit come here. I've been a fan of this Pump House gallery for quite a while. I've been invited to do other exhibits here personally, and also as in other groups that I've curated. So I think this area, I just appreciate so much the support this area has of the arts. I've done some talks with the Arts Council or Legion, whatever they call it, and juried for some of their shows. So
the Art League.
The hills. Yeah. So I don't know. I just think a lot of what you have here. And so I've always been a fan and tried to be supportive where I can. And then I learned in the course the history of Chillicothe and the indigenous people, being a mecca, a gathering place, and it's such a spoke of so much that goes out. So it just seemed right that we would connect Sunwatch to this area.
And this harmonizes with the World Heritage.
Yes, congratulations for that, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes, and I don't have I have some connection with the Serpent Mound down in Adams County. I'm along with the group of the Friends of Serpent Mound, and go down for some of their solstice events and so on. So I don't know, I feel very connected. I feel very connected to what's here on this earth and what has been here.
All right. Well, let's take a look at some of your part of the display.
Okay, great.